then etc. etc. But React is not a framework, React is a library. Okay, please listen carefully. Angular is a framework, React is a JavaScript library. Later we will discuss what is framework and what is library. Okay, now you can clear about JavaScript is a React.js is an Angular framework. Angular is a JavaScript framework, React is a JavaScript library. So basic languages, the first one for HTML, the second one for cascading style sheet, the third one for JavaScript, third one for Bootstrap, fourth one Bootstrap. So HTML for hypertext. So HTML for designing a page, style sheet for giving fancy layout to a page, JavaScript which used to use the basic dynamic behavior to the website, Bootstrap. Please listen carefully. Bootstrap is very, very important. It's a free and open source tool for creating a responsive page. Bootstrap is a free and open source tool for creating a responsive page. Okay. So which comprises of n number of CSS files, which gives excellent fancy layout to the web page. Okay. So these are the several set of front-end libraries, back-end libraries. So some of the popular back-end technology, PHP. PHP is one of the famous technology. It's a server-side scripting language. The language which is running on server side, which is called a server-side scripting language. The language which is running on client-side browser, which is called as client-side scripting language. So Java, Spring Boot, Hibernate, or Servlet, or JSP, these are the backend languages. Actually, JSP is not a backend language. Servlet, EJP, Enterprise Java Bean, or Entity Bean, Session Bean, Hibernate, and J2EE frameworks. These are some of the excellent backend frameworks in Java. Python, Django, and Flask are two web service frameworks in Python. Node.js, which provides a cross-platform compatibility. All of them more familiar about cross-platform compatibility. I hope Node.js is supported for Linux, Windows, Mac, and all kind of operating system. So that's called as cross-platform runtime environment. If you write a code, that code is supported for all kind of platforms. Also more familiar about the buzzword which is called as platform independent. Platform independent in the sense, if you build a code, that code is supported for all kind of platforms. Here, if you write a code, that code, the cross-platform runtime environment, the CLR is supported for each and every machine. So you can write a code, that code which will be compiled via Mac cross-platform runtime environment. So it can create a code. So the code is supported, but anyway, you can rebuild for that machine. Okay. Otherwise, you can deploy into server, that server which take care of everything. Okay. So Node.js is a cross-platform runtime environment. I think this is now not required. Yeah. Top 10 frameworks. This is for our first topic. So top 10 frameworks for web application development: Ruby on Rails, ASP.NET, Laravel, Vue, Django on Python, Express on Node.js, Spring Boot on Java, Play, Angular on Node.js, CodeIgniter. So these are the top 10 frameworks now dominating the web application development. These top 10 frameworks which dominating current web application development. Now we are entering into our basics again. Okay. Web browser and web server. So a client can use a web browser. So the browser which is named as a Chrome is a browser, Edge is a browser, then Firefox is a browser. So your client side user can use the web browser to open the web page, and via this web page user can send a request. Via internet, the request which will be sent to a web server. Apache Tomcat is one of the web server. Okay. IIS, Internet Information Server. IIS, Internet Information Server, provided by Microsoft. PWS, Personal Web Server. Glassfish server. So numerous number of web servers are available. User can send a request of web page www.google.com. www.google.com. That request which will be sent to the server can process that request and send a response of that Google web page. So this is for basic web browser and web server application. So web browser is a special software for viewing a web page. Example, Chrome, Firefox, Opera Mini, or Edge. Web server which used to process the entire data at server side. Example, IIS, PWS, Apache Tomcat, or Glassfish. So the basic architecture. This web server which follows a multi-tier architecture. Or otherwise which is called a three-tier architecture. The first tier which is called as client tier. Client tier which is request data to middleware, that is server side, middle tier. In the middle tier which is requested data to database, this is for last tier. The database which respond to middle tier, the middle tier which respond to client. So this is for three-tier architecture. So client side, middleware, and data side. So this is a core architecture. Similarly, there are n number of n-tier architectures are available. The basic, very basic architecture which is called a three-tier architecture. So this is for three-tier architecture. The client tier, client can access everything via web browser. So this is for web browser is a client-side architecture. So the application user interface. So the user can interact via web browser. That web browser which is called as client tier. So user can send a request. User can view the data via this client tier. So user can directly interact via this client tier. Okay. Then middle tier. So each and every control, each and every rule, each and every operation which performed at this application tier or middle tier. Okay. Normally, each and every programs, either for JSP program or for servlet program or entity bean or session bean, everything which written here. The last one, which is called database tier, we choose to normal RDBMS, relational database management system. So we choose to hold our data. So user can request from web browser to application tier, which fetch a data from database and return to application tier. The application tier which return the entire web page to the web browser. User can request, the request sent to middleware sent to database which provide the information, whatever request which will be sent by the client, that response which will be provided via middle tier or application tier. This is three-tier architecture. This is very important in each and every web page design. That's fine. The same thing. Web browser can send a request. So get me a web page or post this data to server. Either get request or post request. So get me a web page. So the request which will be sent to database. So that web page which will be returned to client. If post this data, then the data was sent to web server update this data or insert the data into database and then respond a message inserted successfully or updated successfully. So either get or post message which will be sent to server. Get message you choose to get that page or get the data. Post message you choose to insert or update the data. So request is generated by client, which categorized into two types. One which is called as get method, the second one which is called as post method. Okay. So always request which reach appropriate web server. After that, the web server which process the request promptly, and response which will be generated by web server and sent back to client. Always this transmission which happen using HTTP protocol. So the default port number of this HTTP protocol is 80. So each and every message which transmitted via this basic protocol or basic port number 80. So HTTP request client. So get method, post method. In addition to that, the third one which is called as put method. Get method for getting data, post method for inserting data, put method for updating data. In addition to that, delete method is also available for deleting data. So basic HTTP request 4 categories: get for getting data or select query, post for insert query, put for update query, then delete for delete query. So 4 HTTP requests. I think all are very much familiar about basic HTML program. So here, please view that body tag, form, method equal to post, action equal to process.jsp. So the entire form data we submitted to this process.jsp file. This is for server side script. The method which is called as post method, via the post method, the entire data which will be submitted. The user can click submit button. The input type equal to text, name equal to var. So this name var, which will be whatever var they are entering with the keyword var. So keyword and value, key value pair. So var, user can enter some var. Both the things are combined together and pass to process.jsp. This is for request from client. So I have designed this web page. Please listen carefully. I have designed this web page. Inside that, I will create a text box. User can type something on the text box, ABC, and then press that submit button. Press this submit button. Then automatically the data ABC, which will be sent to process.jsp action file. Automatically the data ABC, which will be sent to action file process.jsp. Similar way, it's a get method. If post method, one second. If post method, the data will be directly passed without it displaying in the address bar. If it's get method, please listen carefully. If it's get method, then process.jsp, the data which will be sent to process.jsp via the var equal to something, which will be displayed in the address bar. Okay. So one and only difference. The remaining thing, get method and post method, which plays a vital role. Normally, get method which used for select query, post method which used for insert query, put method which used for update query, delete method which used for deleting data. So it's very important. This was very important for compiling your code and verifying your code. It's each and everything are very much important. So the response 200. Each and every time, if you are writing new code, each and every time it's your duty to verify the status. Actually, the status was 200. Everything was works fine. Otherwise, your program having error. You can verify that. If your program which display 100 or 101 or 102 something, which provide information to client needs some information, but it's not provided. 2 series, everything was good works. 200, 201, 202, everything good. If it's 3 series, browser must carry out some further action. So it indicates browser side, client side error. 400, are of the very much viewing number 404. Everyone viewing this error during a page. So file not found or web page not found. So requested resource cannot found. So similar way 500. This is web server error. So these are the very much important. If the error was in 200, then everything works fine. Error code is status code is 200, everything works fine. Status code is 100 or 300 or 400 or 500, something error. So this was the error status code. For send a request to web server, either using DNS name or its IP address. So http:// the IP address which will be sent a request to the web server, or otherwise if you map with some DNS name, you can type the DNS name which directly fetching the web page and display it on your browser. Which directly fetching a web page and display it on your browser. This is not required. Yeah. The another important thing which is called as model view controller architecture. Model view controller architecture. Please listen carefully. Here model, it handles data logic. So model can interact with your database. You can write a program, that program which interact with the database, that program which is called as model. So each and every model or request flow which is managed by each and every operation which is managed by controller. So model also managed by controller. Okay. Then user viewed the model which fetching a data from database, but the page which the data which viewed via view page. So here the view page. The view page also forwarded via control. Please listen carefully. User can send a request. The controller can manage the request and get the data from model. Using that model data, the view layer can prepare the presentation to the user, then return back to the client. Browser can send a request. Based on the request, model can get the data from database. Based on the data, the view layer which can prepare the presentation to view the data, the result sent back to server. That's fine. User can send a request of cricket score. The control layer can fetch a data from database. What's the current cricket score which is fetching from database? The view layer, then it display the cricket score in green color or red color something, and then decorate it and then send to the browser. That's for MVC architecture. MVC architecture, model view controller architecture. Model can fetching a data from data. Please view carefully. Model can directly connect with database. So entire database which controlled via model. Then view page, the decoration or presentation which designed via view page. Controller which is responsible for everything, which manage both model and view. This is for MVC architecture. This is a basic MVC architecture which manage our web page. Some of the MVC based frameworks. The basic MVC adapted frameworks: Spring, Java Spring, Python Django, Ruby on Rails, Java Struts, then ASP.NET. These are the excellent frameworks which adapted MVC architecture. Actually, 99% of frameworks are adapted MVC architecture. Okay, MVC architecture is one of the standard architecture. Hope 100%. Every framework must follow MVC architecture. So this is one of the standard architecture. The advantage of MVC, the code reusability. Each and every same data which will be provide multiple view. It follows SEO, search engine optimization, in a friendly manner. So which provide numerous number of advantages in MVC. It can also provide parallel development. Yeah. Now entering into our core. This is for our core concept. So first one for web development. Then second, we are entering into web development frameworks. Third, we are entering into user, web browser, web server, and databases. Next, we will learn basics of MVC architecture. Now, this is our core area. What's the core area? Understanding the different stack. Understanding the different stack. So always the stack, which is a combination of resources or combination of tools to develop a web application. Combination of resources or combination of tools used to build a web application. Okay. So also which includes the programming language, The tools includes programming language, frameworks, libraries, servers, software, etc., etc. All those resources are combined together to develop a web page. So based on user need, which frameworks are fit for you, it's your expectation. Some of the frameworks. So this framework, which is also called as, it's also termed as the buzzword, which is called as technology stack. Technology stack. You can learn few technology stacks. So always front end and back end. So the stack here. Types of web development stack. Please listen carefully. The types of web development stack. The first one, mean stack. The database as MongoDB. The database as MongoDB. The backend which performed via Express.js. The backend which performed via Express.js. Then the front end which designed via Angular.js. The front end which designed via Angular.js. The operation of Express and Angular which controlled via Node.js. So mean stack. Mean stack which comprising of 4 tools. First one MongoDB, second one Express.js, third one Angular.js, the last one which is called as Node.js. So MongoDB, Express, Angular, and Node.js. Then LAMP. LAMP is another excellent stack which comprising of Linux as a platform, Apache Tomcat as a web server, MySQL as a backend, PHP is a front-end language. Okay, Linux, Apache Tomcat, MySQL, and PHP. So LAMP, LAMP stack. Then Django. It's an unchained stack which is helpful for Python backend tool. Django, which is also supported for front-end tool. Then Meta. This is a new stack which plays a vital role currently, which dominates. Then Spring Boot. It's a lightweight Java tool for front-end development. Java Spring Boot. Ruby on Rails, which is one of the excellent framework which also dominates team. So these are some of the types of web development framework. Collection of resources are combined together to form a stack. Collection of resources are combined together to form a stack. The first stack. Please listen carefully. The first stack, which is called as man stack, MERN, not MEAN. This is MERN. So M stands for MongoDB is a database. E stands for Express.js is a backend tool. R stands for React.js is a front-end tool. Node.js, which manage the entire Express and React library activity. So these 4 collection of tools, which is named as man stack, MERN stack. Okay, this is most popular currently used web development framework, which composed with the help of Node.js, React, Express, and MongoDB. So the React library having n number of features, so it dominates the entire valve. So the UI design was very expressive and more reliable, which provides a SPA application in a very excellent way, which is open source, and everything. All those tools are freely available on internet. So which also supported for video streaming tools, Netflix and Uber, etc., etc. So the prominent companies are following these frameworks. So because it's very lightweight, man stack is a very lightweight stack. The second one, which is called as mean stack. First one, which is called as man stack. Second one, which is named as mean stack. This is for MongoDB, Express.js, Angular, and Node.js. MongoDB for database, Express for backend, Angular for frontend. All those frontend and backend runtime environment is performed via Node.js. So this is also a popular one. Angular is excellent framework. Day by day, Angular also updated. Anyway, it's also excellent framework. So man stack, which is also one of the topmost framework. Then MEVM, MongoDB, Express, Vue.js, and Node.js. Okay. Front end only change. Front end for First one React, second one front end for Angular, here front end for Vue.js. This is also one of the lightweight tool, Vue.js, which created and programmed by Google. So lightweight tool, it's alternate to Angular, which provided by Google. So Google always provides excellent tools for positive vibration. So many of them using this Vue.js tool. Then currently serverless programming, Lambda, serverless programming, Lambda, which AWS Lambda, which dominates this serverless programming. That programming is also done via Node.js. So serverless programming, either AWS, which offer Lambda, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, everyone provides serverless operation, which performed via the excellent tool which is called as Node.js. LAMP is another excellent framework. LAMP is another excellent framework which Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. The combination of these languages which perform LAMP framework. Last one, a PAN is a Postgres database. It changed into Postgres. Okay. If database always database using MongoDB, here the database is changed into Postgres SQL and Express.js as a backend tool, React as a front-end tool, and Node.js. Okay, fine. So these are some of the excellent frameworks and Ruby on Rails too. Okay. Now we are entering into our first tool, first framework. Yeah, there are numerous number of framework. First framework for Express.js, which is for backend architecture. So initially we start from the base. So Express.js. Wait a second, I will share my entire screen. I hope my screen is visible. We'll start from base. Yes?
Yes, sir, visible.
That's fine. So initially I will open just Google. Then I will search for a basic tool. So the tool which is named as Node.js. The tool which is named as Node.js. That's fine. The Node.js, which is a cross-platform open source server environment, which supported for all those JavaScript, Angular, React, then Vue.js, and then Next.js, and then Express.js, etc., etc. I will start from Express.js. So the current version of Node.js is 18.17.0. Okay. Latest feature, which is 20.5.0, it's latest one, but till it's not a static one. So I will download this. Okay. So I will download this Node.js version 18.17.0, 64-bit, because my machine is 64-bit machine. So I have downloaded Node.js version 18.17.0. Okay, fine. Now I have installed the software. I hope my entire screen is visible for both the screen for faculty as well as student. Am I right? Okay, thank you. So now I have double click on that Node.js MSI version. I can press next. So always I will press accept the license agreement. Next. Then the path was C:\program files Node.js. I agreed. Then it need Node.js runtime environment and all those packet manager, npm, node packet manager, and all those things. I will press next. So if needed, automatically install necessary tools whenever it's pop up. Okay. Then next I will install. So it takes only 2 minutes of time. Please wait for seconds. So Node.js is a entire kit, the kit which comprising of the node packet manager, whatever things needed, you can install via node packet manager. It's also supported for AngularJS, React.js, Express.js, and Node.js. So the installation is in progress.